Now's it going?
Yeah.
Now's it going. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, third time's a charm. We had technical difficulties. Welcome to the Knot House podcast.
It's almost afternoon.
It's not because I was late.
She was on time. I was not late either. You said 10:30.
No, neither of us were late. More importantly, I was not late.
Yes.
Because she always blames me for being late.
That's true. She usually is.
So this is podcast number 26.
26. It is Wednesday, June 19th. They tell me. I wasn't real sure about that.
I think we're within 3 weeks of having done the podcast, which is kind of remarkable.
That is remarkable. We almost did one last week, but we didn't.
Yeah, we didn't do it. Which is kind of good because I didn't have all my colors done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have a lot of things to cover today. We've got some, I've got new colors from the Knot House inspiration photos. And then we have some finished objects to talk about. We didn't talk about knit night at the brewery.
Oh, last night we did something a little different. We had knit night at Rockwell Brewery. And it was really fun. I think everybody had a good time. Heather and Carol, I don't think left until 10 o'clock, so they must have had a really good time.
We had things to talk about.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, goodness. And I really enjoyed it. It was kind of nice. Normally on knit nights, I don't get to sit and knit because, you know, there's people and they're...
Are you sitting up straight?
Heather,
Okay.
that's as straight as I can get. I don't know what you want from me.
Okay. I'm just wondering, you just look so little.
You want me to sit on some books?
Maybe next time we'll have you sit on some books.
I am little. I'm short.
I know, but I
got
don't
a
think
short
of you as being that little when I see you on the
I've got a
screen.
short body and I've got
Short
little
legs. I know. Anyway, go ahead. So we're at Rockwell Brewery.
We're at Rockwell Brewery. We got to have a couple of beers. We got to eat. The food was good. I think everybody had we had a bigger turnout there than we usually do here.
Well, it was different.
Yeah.
And it didn't rain.
No,
So-
didn't rain. It was nice.
So are you going to keep doing that through the summer maybe?
We are going to do that through the summer.
Okay.
Um,
I even went. I don't normally come to knit night.
5 to 8 or 10 or whatever anybody wants till they kick you out, I guess. I think Chris and I stayed till 9. But 5 to 8, kind of. And it was a good time.
Yeah. So,
Chris and I stayed till it got dark and we couldn't knit any longer.
yeah, it did get dark.
Yeah.
Okay, so
We did that. What gave us the idea to do that was we did it on Knit in Public Day. And we had a really good turnout then and it was a lot of fun. So I do want to continue it, I think, for the rest of the summer.
And Paul doesn't care.
Well, Paul, I'm sure, likes it.
Yeah. So, should we move on to finished objects?
Finished objects.
It feels funny because we've talked about this ranunculus now at least a half a dozen times because this is our third time filming this thing. So, last time we podcasted, I didn't have the ranunculus quite finished. Ta-da! Here it is.
It looks a lot different with the lavender underneath it than it did with the black underneath it.
Yeah. And if I had white on, it would look even different,
It would.
you know?
It would.
So, if you're interested in doing it exactly like this one, which I know people sometimes like to do, I just dyed up more fine china. And this is Knot House Yarns Diamond Sock. I had this at the pop-up. This was inspired by a really, really pretty picture of a teacup. So that's fine china. And then this is Deco Mohair, or Mo Debonair is what we call it. And I just want to say that, you know, you can tell the difference that the mohair makes to get this so much lighter. So,
Which makes it hard to picture
Right.
when you're... The other thing I tell people is you're looking at this solid, and when it is knitted.
Right, it's just one little strand.
It's one little strand. So I usually pull a strand out of both and twist it so that you can see. But it definitely will make this have a much lighter halo, as you can see in yours.
Yep. So that's that. And do we want to talk about the tin can knits?
So this is Tin Can Knits
Love Note.
Love Note.
Carissa knitted this up for us.
Yes, she did. And when she did it not the crop version, but the longer version, and had the back longer. And it just didn't look good. So I suggested that she take it back and do the cropped version, which this is. It is only 6 inches from the underarm. Total.
That's what the pattern, so she did it cropped to the pattern, what the pattern called for.
This is 3/4 length sleeves. It looks like it is long sleeved.
Right.
But it's not. It's 3/4. If I were
This is pretty up here.
If I were gonna do it for you, I would add maybe an inch or two. Whatever the length of that one is what I would do this one.
Which I don't remember, but I did this one until I ran out of yarn, and it was basically to pattern.
But yeah, it's just,
yeah.
So I'll measure it.
But if you're bustier, then it's gonna ride up, right? So you gotta allow for that and have just a little bit more length.
Yes.
So this was 2 skeins of chain?
Yes, and 2 of mohair.
So explain how different this colorway looked, because we don't have any more of this colorway.
It had a lot of white in it.
See, I would have never guessed that.
It had a lot of, but if you look at it, there is a lot of
lighter spots.
But the Romeo, which is the vibrant blue, made it all look bluer.
Right. So
you also noticed in the skein, you noticed this kind of lime green
was stronger,
and the pink was stronger.
And just made it kind of more subtle.
Yes, and gave it a blue halo all over.
So what we have done is we've picked out, because we don't have any more of this color of chain, of course. We picked out some colors with some mohair just to give people ideas of what they can do. So again, this is
gorgeous together.
Yeah. So this one, this chain that we're talking about is super soft sock. It is 80% merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon.
Comes from London.
And this is the denim colorway. It's really pretty. So I picked out Farmer's Daughter, Mighty Mo, Bison Princess to go with this one. And this one is, of course, going to make it have a more of a lavender halo all over, and a little more of a blended look. The yellow and gold is going to be more subtle.
Just like the pink and the lime is more subtle here. Yeah. It'll just give it a lavender.
So that's one, I think, nice color option. Mom picked out this brown. I'm going to let you talk about this one, Mom.
Well, if you look at this brown, it's hard to picture it with anything.
What's it called again? Blue Finch.
So,
because it does have a little bit of blue in it.
It does. Kind of a blue-gray. So if you were to put the Knot House Mo Debonair Earl Grey with it, it would take away some of the brownness, the taupiness, and give it what I call depth of color. It would really bring out the blue-gray that's in it.
It would be pretty, especially for a fall, because it
would make it more wearable. You could wear it with brown, gray, or black.
Right, that's true. I hadn't thought about that.
So very pretty.
I'm looking to see if we have enough of that mohair. We do.
We said earlier that, sometimes it's hard to picture things. And you just have to have a little bit of trust and vision.
Well, that's how many people call you and ask you to help them with colors over the phone.
I've been doing that a lot lately. So what do you think about these colors together? Or I've got this color and I need to put something with it. Will you take some pictures for me? So I do. And sometimes they like what I pick and sometimes they don't. But you know, it's just my suggestion. And my vision sometimes is a little different than everybody else's, so.
Well, her vision is different than my vision too. So
Fair.
it's okay.
Right, you tell me that frequently.
All right, so here's a couple of other ones. So I picked out this pretty pink, and I picked out this brighter mohair. This is Married Catherine, Mighty Mo, Farmer's Daughter, and then this is Antique Rose. So this isn't going to look quite as antique-y if you use this
It
mohair.
looks kind of like a dusty rose.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, but if you put that, you know, electric pink with it, it's gonna
Really be
it's gonna be really pretty. It's gonna be a standout sweater. What else did I do? Oh, this one. This one's slate, which is kind of gray with these little orangey brown specks. And I picked out Chateau Bordeaux
to pick up the red out
to
of
pick
it.
out the red out of this.
But
I think
if-
this one would be really pretty too.
But if you did,
Yeah, if you did this one,
there you go, that would make it just almost all gray.
gray. Yep. So there you go. There's some options for that. And you could use these for, again, you could do it for the Ranunculus, or you could do it for Love Note by Tin Can Knits.
Mm-hmm.
Has anybody done this in DK?
No.
No? You can't get to gauge? We talked about that. She and I talked about it.
A lace weight and a fingering do not quite make DK. Two fingerings make DK.
So, all right. Enough on that.
You'd have to mess with the size.
Your needles and stuff. No, the size of the pattern.
Right.
All right, Mom wanted to do just a quick flash of this sweater. I think this was right where we got to when we had to start over.
So this is Tweed Side by Lily Turner, Wishbone Yarns. I have not posted it.
Have you tried it on?
I have.
Yeah? Does it look good?
It does. It does. Now I used let me see if I can see.
Vichy Bouche?
Vichy Bouche. I used Vichy Bouche for the main color, and then I used Diamond Sock, Knot House Diamond Sock for the color work.
So Vichy Bouche is fingering, or is it sport?
It's fingering.
Okay.
I
Turned out really pretty. Is this one of your Rhinebeck sweaters?
I did this on a size 5 needle. It is. One of the things I want to talk about just real quick with this sweater is, I think I've said it before, that when you're using a non-superwash, now the Diamond Sock is a superwash, but the Vichy Bouche is not. But when you're using a non-superwash, when you take it out of the water, it's not loosey-goosey. You roll it in the towel, and it's amazing.
Oh, that it still holds its shape.
That, yeah, I mean, I didn't even pin the bottom of it. But that being said, if you're used to doing sweaters in superwash, and you can, you know, I'm always worried about the bust, you can get more out of the bust or the length. In the non-superwash, you cannot. So you better make that big enough, because you can't say to yourself, well, when I block it, I can get another inch out of it. You're not, you might get an inch.
But you're not going to get any more.
You're not going to get any more than that.
Okay.
And the length, even in the sleeves. So the sleeves, I measured them before.
Sleeve's pretty, this little detail here.
I measured them before, and then they were the same after. I wet it and blocked it. There was one change that I made in the pattern. You know how I like the big sleeves and then a tight cuff? This had a loose cuff. She did not decrease any, she just ribbed. And I did not do it that way. I decreased down to 44, I believe, and then did a 3x3 rib.
It's pretty.
So.
It's kind of light. Bye, Laura.
Bye, Laura.
Bye.
That's another thing. This is woolen spun, and it's light as a feather. It's not a heavy,
gonna weigh you down.
No. So I
that's that.
I really enjoyed doing it. It was a great
This was
pattern.
a test knit, right?
It was a test knit, but she released it before I got it finished.
Okay.
It's been out a couple of weeks.
Okay. So what are you wearing?
I am wearing Hohi's Ziggy.
You're gonna have to stand up because you're too short. Another thing that Clarissa just whipped up.
Can you see that
Why don't
lace?
you take it off, Mom, and show it?
But I want you to see that picot edge. Gorgeous.
So this is Hohi's, one of her latest releases. And Carissa used Olan. Which one did she use, Mom?
Single.
Well, Hohi used Olan too. She used Ghost Rider.
She used Ghost Rider.
Did she use single for it too?
You know,
I think the sock light.
sock light.
Carissa just said she thinks it was sock light. But this is single.
But this is single.
It's pretty, very pretty.
I also need to comment that Carissa does the most gorgeous job of blocking.
Better than you?
Yes,
You think so?
I do. Now, I wouldn't say, because I take pride in my blocking, but I can honestly say that I feel like...
We're going to have to get you a booster seat.
I can honestly say that I feel like Carissa does a better job of blocking. Now, I will say she uses wires, and I don't. So if I were doing this, I would have pinned
Every little picot edge. That's a lot of pins.
But that's what you do.
Yeah. So this was 2 skeins, right?
And she had 1 gram left, I believe.
Okay.
And I think she said from here to here was 1 skein.
It's pretty. It's really pretty.
It's light.
Mm-hmm.
It's light. But I think it's just gorgeous.
So do you have a tip? Hi, come on in. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that commented on all of the color work discussion, the dominant color, the non-dominant color. We got a lot of feedback about how people really liked hearing Mom talk about that. So thank you.
I've had to explain it a little bit more. Different people that have come in and have asked.
Mm-hmm.
I think if it were called something other than dominant, because we think of being right-handed dominant, I think it wouldn't confuse people as much. So I try to, it's the color that you want to come forward is the color that you would hold in your left hand, or it would be the one that's underneath. It's the one that
I
comes
explained
forward.
it like it's like a sewing machine with you got a bobbin color on the bottom and you got a top thread on top.
Kind of.
Well, in my
Because
head,
you don't-
that's how it is.
You don't see the bobbin.
Right, you don't see the
Thread.
bobbin thread, but it's still there.
Right, but when you're doing color work, you see it.
Yeah. So
Um,
what's your tip for today?
Well, I had someone ask me about, she had done the soldanta and was having trouble with wrap and turns.
Okay.
I don't do wrap and turns anymore. I do German short rows. Knit Pearl Hunter on YouTube has a great tutorial on German short rows. Knit Pearl Hunter. She's the one that looks a little 50-ish
I'm gonna
in
go
the
grab
picture.
your phone real quick while you're talking about that. Knit Pearl Hunter?
Knit Pearl Hunter. So a German short row does the same thing as a wrap and turn. It's just that you're not having to pick up the wrap. What her complaint was is one side of her wrap and turns looked really good. which is true. The other side looked a little holy, which is normal. But if you do German short rows, then that's not an issue. That doesn't happen. There's some discussion about that if you're doing a German, you need to knit 1 stitch further. My philosophy on that is it's 1 stitch. And if you're consistent, if it tells you to knit to 14 and then wrap and turn, I knit to 14, do my German short row, turn it, and then knit to 5 to the last one, as long as you're consistent with what you do, whether you do 1 more or you just do what it tells you to do. They are so much easier. It looks like a double stitch and you knit those together, and you really can't see them. So she tried that and she was very happy with it. So that's my tip for the day. I use German short rows.
Don't you think a lot of people use German short rows?
I do. Now, there's
a
a
lot of people. The few patterns I do, they call for German short rows.
Well, a lot of them do, but a lot of them call for wrap and turns. But it has the same effect, so it doesn't matter.
Well, you were talking about German short rows that I can't.
I haven't done Japanese short rows. A lot of people rave about those. But I like Germans, so that's what I do now.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
There is a Japanese. Stephen West uses Japanese short rows. So that's my tip for today.
Okay. So if you have another question or you have something that you want to pick Mom's brain about, you can send in a question.
I will say that, I don't always do things the most conventional way. Sometimes it's...
I know, you tie knots.
I do.
I don't.
I'm not a purist.
Right.
They say the reason you don't tie knots is because in 100 years, that's the weakest place in the garment. And I figure in 100 years, somebody else can deal with it. That's better than having a hole.
Right.
Because sometimes, not tying a knot, if you weave the ends in the wrong way, you can get a hole. And the only way to fix that is to go back.
So that, I guess, brings us to the giveaway and the fun thing that we did last time, which was the Knot House inspiration photos. I want to say, I think I was surprised how many photos that we received. So if you're just watching this now and you didn't watch the previous podcast, what I had said is, I sometimes have a hard time finding inspiration in things, and I thought it might be fun. I'm talking about colorways for dyeing yarn. I thought it would be fun if people submitted pictures of color or things that inspired them, and we called it kind of like a summer inspiration. So they hashtagged KH Summer Inspiration, and then that way I could, go to that hashtag and I could see all the posts. And we got a lot of responses and a lot of really fun,
good pictures,
pretty pictures. Yeah. So the first one I want to talk about real quick, I'm not going to show you the yarn yet. First one I want to talk about was one of the first ones that came in, Rachel Lee Book Girl. I'm just going to show it here real quick. You can't really see it, but it is a picture of her daughter wearing blue and black. Whoops, get it out of the light. Next to a horse that is dressed as a unicorn. So when I first looked at this, I thought, okay, well, that's kind of funny, and it's how often do you see a horse done like a unicorn? But that was one of the ones that I chose to do. So we will direct message Rachel Lee Book Girl, and she will get 2 skeins of the colorway. So, I'll show you the color now. So this is the color I came up with for it. So I've decided that I'm going to name this Free Spirit, because I couldn't really call it unicorn, right? And you know, it's got a good amount of blue. It's got more white than it does anything else. Yeah, that's a skein that I have wound up. The pink is really good in it. And then I started, Mom, what was the name of this pattern?
Oh, I don't know the name of it.
You don't remember the name of it?
I don't.
Pebble Beach Shawl.
Pebble Beach.
Whew. That was good, wasn't
That
it?
was good. You pulled that
I know, I
out.
pulled it out. So, dang it. I've
You
got
see-
some stitches on there. So now I can't hold it up open. This was,
Just talk a
so
minute.
last night when I was at knit night, I think I counted 4 stitches that I did. I didn't do any more than just those little 4 stitches. So, so anyway, so I'm gonna be sending 2 skeins. And I think I'm gonna keep this color. I mean, I told Mom, I said, it's really fun. It's not anything that anyone would expect out of me to do. But you know, it looks like it's gonna be really kind of bold when you knit it up, but it's really not. And as soon as she gets this undone, you can show it and see it real quick. Hi, come on in, don't mind us.
Hi. Oh, good.
There we go. So the Pebble Beach shawl is an older pattern.
I think you were showing it.
Yeah, I'm showing it backwards, but that's okay. It's the same thing. But see how,
So it's just rows of eyelets.
yeah, it's just rows of eyelets. This is a 1 skein project too. You can do it in larger versions. I think there's a small, medium, and large. And I'll post that in.
Helen Stewart.
Yeah, because she's the one you said that marks off all of the rows.
Yeah.
And I was telling them last night that I can't believe that this is 15% done. So she tells you when you get to the end of the rows, when you're at 5%, 10%, you know.
She does gorgeous sock patterns.
Yeah. So who did you say it was again?
It's Helen Stewart, isn't
Helen
it?
Stewart. Anyway, so that's that. So that's fun. So thank you very much. So like I said, I'll send a direct message and we'll get your address and get this yarn out to you. Okay, so then, you getting it ready for the next one? So I picked 2. And this one is Lisa W. Loves Knit. She's the one that submitted this one. And I actually learned a lot from this picture. So that's a pink flamingo. Not sure where it was taken, but it's a gorgeous picture. When you really zoom in, you can really see the different colors of the pink. So I took that on as a challenge and came up with my version of pink flamingo. There is a little bit of yellow in the pink flamingo because there is yellow in their eyes. So do we have this one wound up too, Mom?
We do.
So Mom has even done a swatch of this one. You can see there's just a little bitty bit of yellow in it. Mom, why don't you tell why you do these little things here on the sides
Well,
of your swatches?
can't take credit for it. That's what Carissa does. But it tells you what size needle you used.
So you used a 4?
I did.
So she does 4 little eyelets so she can look back and say what size
Some
it
people
was.
do 4 knots.
Yeah.
Um,
So there's 2 tips.
right.
So I don't know if you can really see the little yellow in there.
It looks like just a little ray of sunshine on that pink.
So this is pink flamingo, and this will definitely be a color that I keep. It's a really pretty summer color. In the process of doing this, I came up with 2 other colors. So I want to talk about that for a minute. This was the color I started out with, and I had to get lighter, but it's really pretty, so I'm keeping it. I have a name
very
for
pretty.
it. And then this one is the other color. So you hold all 3 of these up together. It's
Very
really
pretty.
pretty. And it's not something that I had in my palette at all. It's more of an orangey pinky color instead of a blue pink or a blue red. So I was trying to come up with names, right? And of course, it doesn't seem as good now as I tell it as when I first came up with it. But but I had to do some research on the pink flamingo, and what I learned about it was what determines their color. It's what their diet is, and they eat different things, but one of the things that they eat a lot of is shrimp. And that shrimp, of course, Paul challenged me on this, is part of what gives them the pink, or the in-depth pink of color that they have. He says, but when they eat the shrimp, they're white, Heather. They're not pink. Right? The shrimp, right? The shrimp don't turn pink until
they're cooked.
They're cooked. But now I didn't go in and research it further, but there's something in the shrimp that turns the pink flamingo
pink. Okay.
Pinker. So
I did not realize they had yellow eyes either.
Right.
But they really do.
Yeah. So I was thinking, what am I gonna, I had posted these on Instagram, and somebody had come back with, orange sherbet, and I'm like, no, we can't do that. That's overused. And I was thinking lobster, and I think this is what triggered it. Lobster bisque, and then it dawned on me, shrimp scampi, and it went with pink flamingo because that's what they eat.
Okay.
And then I decided this could be cocktail, shrimp cocktail sauce, or
thank you guys,
or a libation cocktail. So this is cocktail. Now this I haven't dyed yet on the diamond sock. I'm going to do that today. So it'll, by the time I post this, it'll be on the website for sure. But this is in my my R&D that I do my test colors in. And this, like I said, is going to be shrimp scampi and pink flamingo. So thank you very much.
I may do
Lisa,
this one into a millie because I've requested mohair.
I thought I said I wanted this one in a millie.
Well, you may have said that.
Doesn't matter what I say.
I said.
See who's really the boss?
I'm the boss of me in my knitting. I may not be the boss.
You're the boss if you're telling me you need mohair.
I do need mohair this color. And I want it darks and light. I mean, I don't want it a solid color.
I want it, and I want it now.
Well, I said that yesterday, so.
You said it last night at midnight. So, you
Anyway,
will have it.
I may make a millie. Carol is making a millie out of diamond sock and the Mauve Debonair, and it is gorgeous. She was showing it off last night.
The millie's short sleeve too, right?
No, it's
3/4.
but it has dropped sleeves.
Yeah. So that's what we've been up to. What else? What else do we need to talk about, Mom? Do we have anything coming up interesting and fun?
You know, we have the latest lane and the newest pom-pom. I don't think we've talked about that or posted, but we do.
Lane and pom-pom, and there's some really good patterns in both, right?
In both, yes.
It's a pretty shawl there on the back of that one.
Yes, it is.
Who's designed that?
I don't know. I'd have to look.
That would be pretty done in pink flamingo. It's the same color almost.
Everything's going to be in pink flamingo.
I don't think it's going to be everything.
Rachel Reese is
What's the pattern called?
Rookwood.
Rookwood. Yeah. It's pretty. It's a triangle shawl. Well, it's an offset triangle.
It's asymmetrical.
Asymmetrical or offset triangle.
Offset.
You can just make up your own things.
She can. What else do we have going on?
Well, we have some things going on in the fall that we can't really talk about yet. That's going to be pretty exciting.
Exciting.
Very exciting stuff.
We do. We'll have some new yarns coming in. We'll have the Nomadic Knits book.
Yes.
That is all on Maryland.
Maryland hand dyers.
And designers.
And designers, yep.
And that will be out, I believe it's July 6th. And we will have that as well. And that's really all, it's summertime.
What are you gonna, when are you gonna start working on your Rhinebeck, your other Rhinebeck sweater? What is it gonna be,
I've got 2 Rhinebeck sweaters right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know what the third one's going to be.
You're gonna do 3?
Yeah.
For Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah, we never go on Sunday.
I know. We always come home.
But I'll have one. I mean, I've got ones I could wear,
Mm-hmm.
but I've got 2 new ones, the Tweedy side and the Blackthorn. So I don't know.
Well, so you're open.
I am. Oh, I also want to say that we got a new shipment of Spin Cycle and Dream State.
Oh, it seems like every time we podcast, we say that we got a new shipment of Spin Cycle.
Well, that's about as often as we podcast. It's about as often as we get a new order. Andrea Mallory came out with her new cowl.
Yeah, that came out today, actually.
Yes, and that uses Spin Cycle dyed in the wool, and we've got a really good selection of that right now.
All right.
That's all that I can think of.
Okay. So I just want to say, keep sending in the inspiration pictures. I'm going to probably do at least one more, version, depending on, how much time I have and when we podcast. So go ahead and keep sending those if you want to. And we, like I said, if I pick your picture, then we send 2 skeins of the actual colorway from that picture. So it's kind of fun, and I'll try to insert the pictures in to the podcast so that you can really see them better than when me holding them up on the phone. There was one other thing I was going to say. Oh, I was going to say that on the next podcast, we're going to do a different giveaway, and that's going to be for reaching 3,000 subscribers. So if you're watching, please subscribe. It just reminds you of when we podcast, and it helps us get more views, more focus on the yarns that we carry, and helps everybody be successful. So if you're watching, thank you for watching.
Thank you for all your support. Our local group, I want to say thank you for the support. Knit Night, I'm getting teary-eyed.
Why are you getting teary-eyed?
For our knit nights, and Knit in Public Day was fabulous, and I just want to say thank you.
Crazy lady. All right, bye everybody. Thanks for watching.